Okay, let's talk about domain names for a moment. This was a question that came up in my membership this week, and actually there were a few people who needed to know the answer to it. So what you're looking at here is my Namecheap dashboard. This is where I register all of my domain names. Your domain names might be registered somewhere else, such as GoDaddy, 123reg, Ionis, or somewhere completely different. It doesn't matter where your domain names are registered. We have the capability to do any kind of management as long as you have the login details for your domain management. You're going to be able to control your domain name in the way that I'm going to talk you through today. So one of the questions that came up was, how do I create a page on my website, which might be a registration page or a sales page for a particular offer, and have a different domain name point to it? So that what they mean by that is you could have a page on your website and it might be your domain name /special offer, but you want specialoffer.com to actually go to that page. And this is what we call domain forwarding or domain redirection. And your domain registrar might call it different things. And there's different reasons why we might use this. And if I show you it in action, then it might make it a little bit clearer from the outset. So if we were to type in a web address, which I have called rockthatwebsite.com. This is the name of my signature program. You'll see if you watch where it goes to, it redirects to the websitementor.com /rockthatwebsiteexpress. So the reason why I might want to do this, I must change this screenshot on this video. The reason why I might want to do this is because it's more memorable if I'm running a webinar or if I'm speaking to somebody to say, go ahead and check out rockthatwebsite.com, then tell them to go to the websitementor.com /RTWX. And so this is one of the reasons why you might want to do it. So I'm going to show you how you would do this. So if I come in, let me just go to Popping Promos. So I've got a domain name called poppingpromos.com. This is a new course that I created this year. I have a sales page for it, which is here, and it sits at thewebsitementor.com /popping-promos. It's not a very easy domain name or URL to articulate. If I'm wanting to send somebody here, it would be much easier for me to say, go ahead and check out poppingpromos.com. So I'm going to copy this domain name. I'm just going to right click on it, click on copy. Then I can come over to my domain registrar. I can click on to manage for the domain name, and I can head in here and I can click onto redirect. So here you can see we don't have any redirects on this domain name yet. So if I click on add redirect, I'm going to redirect poppingpromos.com and the destination URL. So if I click on the green tick, that's going to take effect. Let me show you what happens at the moment. So if I go to poppingpromos.com, there's nothing there. So some domain registrars will put up their own holding page there for a domain name that isn't redirected anywhere. Some of them will bring up an error. I have a feeling this one's bringing up an error because I previously did have a redirect on it and I removed it just for this video so that I could show you how it worked. So when I come back here, at the moment I've just placed this in. I haven't actually hit the tick to confirm it. So I'm going to save the changes. And what this means is that every time someone types in poppingpromos.com, they're going to land on that page on my website. Now, in an ideal world, I would be able to show you that in action, but I have a feeling that because I removed it and I've just added it again, it's going to confuse the DNS. It's going to take a little bit of time for that redirect to take effect. So at the moment, that's not working, but it will do. So later on, if I type in poppingpromos.com, it's going to take us here. So let me just show you, for example, on the Rock That website, exactly how that looks. The example that I showed you a moment ago. So if I go to Rock That website, I'm just going to, here is the domain management for this. If I click onto manage, you'll see that this is in place. So you can see the source URL is the domain name and the destination URL is the one that I showed you. So the destination URL needs to be complete and absolute. So you need to include the HTTPS, If yours is www. Then you need to include that as well. And this is working. We saw this in play earlier on. So if someone types in rockthatwebsite.com, they're going to land here. So you can add this for any URL that you have if you're wanting to redirect people. And the benefit of doing this is that a domain name is just a small investment. So make no mistake, it's a small investment. It's a big asset if you're building your website on it, because you're creating an entity and you don't want to lose access to it in the long run. But it enables us to create a really easy marketing resource. And I promised I would talk you through some of the use cases for doing this. So the obvious one is for marketing campaigns. So it enables us to create short, memorable, campaign-specific domain names that point to a landing page on your main site. And that's the main reason that I use it, that I'm taking people not necessarily to a campaign, but I'm taking them to an offer or a sales page. But you could use it for different things. So it basically offers really easy to remember URLs for specific content. So for example, if you're a blogger, you might want to take people to a specific area on your website just for your blogs. So instead of talking about youramazingwebsite.com/blog, you could send people to vickysblog.com, for example. It's easier for you to articulate where you're sending people to. The other reason why you might want to have it is if you've got a name in your URL which is commonly misspelled. So this occurs with lots of coaches, for example. So maybe they've got a difficult name or surname that just doesn't work very well in terms of articulation. They have to spell it out to people, or there's multiple variations. So if your name is Suzanne and that's part of your web address, there's lots of different ways of spelling that. And so you might want to register the variations of that domain name and point them towards your main website. So if you spell Suzanne with an S, and most people would spell it with a Z, you could register the version with the Z and just forward it, so that even if people type it in incorrectly because you've met them at a networking event or whatever it might be, they haven't taken your business card, they've just remembered your name and they've tried to access your website, but they've typed it incorrectly, it will just resolve to the correct web address. People often use them for the likes of affiliate links as well. Personally, I use something called Pretty Links. If you're on WordPress, that's a free plugin that you can use for masking some of those really long, ugly links. And also it just makes it easier for me to remember. So for example, I am an affiliate for Thrivecart. That's the checkout platform that I use. And so instead of trying to remember a long convoluted string of numbers and letters at the end of a Thrivecart URL, I just tell people to go to thewebsitementor.com/TC, and that will take them directly to Thrivecart. And product specific pages, I've already talked about this. So basically it gives you an option to have a short, easy to remember domain name that forwards to a particular product site on your main site. Some people might want to use it as well for seasonal content to redirect traffic to an event specific page without changing the main site structure. So you saw when I was looking at my original domain list that I had a domain name called the 12 Days of Delights. This is a promo that I run over Christmas every year. And so what I could have is this running to a wait list, so that when I'm talking about it, maybe on podcasts or interviews, on summits, at any point in the year, if people want to go ahead and sign up for the wait list for the next 12 Days of Delights, they would be able to. I haven't set that up, but actually I should. So you can do that for something that is seasonal. So those are the reasons why you might want to register different domain names. I am something of a domain name junkie. It's no secret, which means I probably have more domain names than I actually need. But I like the fact that I can use them for marketing specific purposes and make it really straightforward for me to be talking about offerings without having to give people long URLs that I might not easily remember either. So those are some of the reasons why you might want to use it, and that's how you go ahead and implement it. you either look for the forwarding domain option on your domain registrar platform when you log in, or the domain redirect option. Most of these platforms will have knowledge bases that make it really straightforward for you to find all of that information, or you can just Google it. So you could Google redirect domain name GoDaddy, for example, if you're using GoDaddy, but just replace GoDaddy with whatever your domain registrar is. Okay, I'd love to know if that was useful, if this is a technique that you are already using in your business, or if you can see an application for it where it might be useful. Please just let me know in the comments below.